How's it going, guys? I'm here to review Saw the Final Chapter 2010, or just Saw 7. So this film takes place after Saw 6 immediately. This is where Jill Tuck's leave Hoffman for dead. She traps him. This is one of her tasks that was sent by John Craver himself, one of the final tasks that she had to do. And of course, Hoffman survives the trap. His mouth is all fucked up, but now he's out for blood. Now he's out to get her, and now she is afraid, and she wants protection from the cops. So Hoffman thinks that he was gonna not be tested, but yeah, like I said in the last movie, he was tested, but he survived. As Jill Tuck's on the run by Hoffman, Hoffman is planning a new game. Hoffman captures a supposed Jigsaw survivor, Bobby Dagan, that he's written. He wrote a book about like how he survived the Jigsaw traps, how he was reborn, how he's different. But of course, he was lying because he was never captured by Jigsaw. He was never in a trap. And really, he was just getting ratings out of his book. So of course, he got captured for real. And Hoffman traps other of his associates, his friends that were in on it, and he's being tested by the old recording broadcast of Jigsaw, John Kramer. So while Bobby Dagan is completing his tasks, Jill is being protected by the cops, like I said earlier, and the cops now know that Hoffman is the secret Jigsaw killer. The word is now clear, and then he is exposed, truly.
Since the beginning, you have watched others suffer.
And then, of course, Hoffman manages to eventually catch up to Jill Tuck, and that's when shit hits the fan. Slaughter everywhere. It's literally became a slasher movie in the end. Like, he's literally killing everyone in his way just to get his revenge on Jill Tuck. And while that's happening, like I said, Bobby is still completing his tasks. People are dying in traps. People may survive or not. I'm not spoiling anything. But there's another returning character from the very first Saw movie, and that is Dr. Gordon, which is really cool. Unfortunately, Dr. Gordon has a small role in this movie, but if you think about it, he does have a big role in the story. So ever since Dr. Gordon survived the bathroom by cutting off his own foot while his foot was chained, he was just reborn and he just became Jigsaw's apprentice. Why they didn't really specify why he just did, I don't know. But pretty much the movie, in the end, it tells you how he was involved in other traps and other games and the other Saw movies, which is really cool. I love how all these Saw movies connect to like flashbacks and different scenarios, like I said. And that's when they have their final confrontation, Hoffman versus Gordon. But I'm not going to spoil the ending. If you guys haven't seen this movie, watch it, and once you'll see the ending, you know what I'm talking about. And it's pretty much one of the most epic endings of all time. But it's a kind of ending where you're like, that's it. Like, I wouldn't say that's an ending for the whole Saw franchise if they're calling it the final chapter, but it's still a pretty good ending.
Now it is your turn to play.
Oh yeah, and you have another special actor in this movie, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, or the singer of Linkin Park. Rest in peace to Chester Bennington, rest in peace. Yeah, Linkin Park is pretty much one of the best bands of all time, in my opinion. But yeah, man, that day when he passed, it sucked. But yeah, this is one of his more popular roles when it comes to movies, so it's good seeing him in this movie. So that was the plot in a nutshell of Saw the Final Chapter, or people call it Saw 3D or Saw 7. I don't give a fuck. I call it Saw the Final Chapter. Well, okay. This movie is actually the most disappointing one in the entry. I mean, you would think that if it was called Saw the Final Chapter, they would at least deliver like a good like finale. I mean, don't get me wrong, the ending was still epic, but I mean, I thought the ending was going to be 5 times more epic. Once you see the ending, like I said, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, it's good, but it's not like punching the wall where it's like, yeah, this is the final Saw movie. This is it. It's like, after the ending, you can tell that, like, okay, maybe they're just taking a break, or maybe eventually they'll make another Saw movie, which they did 7 years later, Jigsaw. The reason why I didn't really, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, but it just wasn't a good entry if you compare it to the last 6 movies. And like 5 is good, but damn, 5 is like looking like a god compared to Saw the Final Chapter, because Saw the Final Chapter, the characters is good, but the new characters are just like, they're just kind of one-dimensional, kind of generic. There's really nothing interesting to these new characters, and not only just that, like most of these new characters die anyways, like, so they're just throwaway characters. And not only just that, I had a problem with the gore or the special effects in this movie. The blood looks horrible, in my opinion. The blood looks fucking pink. Pink blood in this movie. I don't know if it was trying to, like, they did that so that way for the 3D gimmick when it came out, or CGI blood and then pink blood for the 3D gimmick. I don't know. Either way, it just looks cheap as hell. And then, I don't know, the whole budget in this movie, some scenes look like, okay, this looks high enough for the 3D element, but there's other scenes where just like, okay, this looks like a low budget, like kind of like sci-fi kind of film. Like, I don't know if you guys got that feeling, if you guys already seen this movie, but that's just how I feel. Some scenes just felt low budget while you had like pink blood. I don't know. And then the story, I can tell they didn't know where to go with the story. I mean, they had to just pick new characters and make another game and make another trial for the new character. I mean, I don't know. The only interesting element in this movie is, of course, Hoffman trying to kill Jill for his revenge. And, of course, Dr. Gordon returns. Those are the only 2 elements that are pretty much redeemable in this movie. Everything else is just like, like, it's just the same weak, boring kind of shit. It's like, there's really nothing new. But I'm making it sound like I hate this movie. I don't really hate this movie, don't get me wrong. But this is just my opinion. This movie, this entry is just like the weakest. It's the weakest entry in this franchise, in my opinion. So anyways, if I had to rate this movie out of 10, honestly, I would rate this movie a 6 out of 10. I mean, there's some good moments. There's some really, really good moments. Don't get me wrong, but overall, like, this is, out of all the Saw movies, this is my least favorite. So that was my quick review of Saw 7, or Saw the Final Chapter 2010. Please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the last Saw movie, Jigsaw.
Game over. The last piece of the puzzle is you.